You're listening to episode 5 of the Women's Fitness Podcast with Kelly Bakewell PT and Iszi Lawrence. The information in this podcast should not be taken instead of medical advice. We are not doctors, just passionate about fitness, progress and feeling good. You can find out more about us at womensfitnesspodcast.com, but for now, time for some real talk about the mess, stress and silliness that will get you achieving your goals. Yeah, so you've been in Tel Aviv.
Yeah, I basically got bullied by the sea.
Yeah, no, you did mention this. Yeah. It was
pretty epic, to be honest.
Well, I mean, it stole your sunglasses.
It basically pulled down my pants, smacked me on the bum, and stole my sunglasses. That is literally what it did. Big wave, pants, smacked bum, stole my sunglasses.
That's just... It must have been very traumatic.
It was. Taught me a lesson, gave me a little bit of whiplash, which I was quite sad about.
Oh, I got whiplash because we did probably the best ever freshers session I've been to. So normally when you do a jitsu session and you're getting loads of people to come in, it's usually a bit rubbish because it's like, oh, let's do wrist releases and that's the thing. It's something very basic that won't scare anybody. No, they all threw me. So they all stood in a line and threw me, which was really fun. And then we demoed how to get out of wrist grabs the fun way without actually practicing beforehand.
Oh, good.
And one of a guy who's at similar belt level to me, but twice my weight. And he's not twice my weight, but he's a big boy. And he basically, slammed me as if I was a man, which is fine normally, but it wasn't a throw I was expecting. And it got the reaction of the audience of, ooh.
Did you get the wind kicked out, yeah?
Did a little bit, but I got up and threw in.
That's all right.
But but today, neck doesn't move very well. Everything's a bit sore. And I got a really sore quad. It hurts.
Well, do you know how deep the sea was at the time I was stood in it?
Please tell me it was only an inch, because that would be hilarious.
It was actually below hip level.
Okay.
And then just this wave just bounced. Just went pretty much. Because I was facing away from it as well. So full maximum smashing.
When I've been, along with the pebbles at the bottom of the ocean, just being sucked up and zhooshed out like a washing machine, I've always been facing the wrong way too.
Yeah.
I think there's a thing about that.
Yeah.
The thing, getting water up your nose.
This is my tan as well.
It's an amazing tan.
There's
a little bunny rabbit there, and there's a foxy.
It's my 4-day tan.
Yeah.
When I went to Ibiza, I was the only person that came back paler because I'd had a fake tan before I went, just for the first time ever. Everyone else got tanned. As mine washed off, I got more pale, but from the feet upwards because of the sea. So that was interesting.
That's it's special.
Yeah, reverse tan.
You should embrace your paleness. Though,
yeah,
because
reverse tan.
You don't really have, other than turning all your bed sheets orange.
Yeah.
But you presumably you're turning your pillows red as well because your hair is very.
It's pretty intense.
It is very intense.
It looks more intense in the gym under the fluorescent lights.
Yeah, I bet it does.
Yeah,
it's quite, and it looks fun.
But it's pretty much my normal sort of thing.
Cool. Well, we can. And you've had a horrible day at the doctor. Well, not a horrible day.
It's actually been really exciting because I last went to pain management clinics probably about 10 years ago, and I kind of gave up on it and kind of been managing it myself with fitness and stuff. But as I get older, it's getting harder, and I've not slept properly in about 5 days.
Oh.
And the 5-hour flight there and 5 hours back and the sea meant that I've been in so much pain, and I just went there today. I said, look, I've got fibromyalgia, scoliosis, compressed disc degeneration, and my doctor was called Dr. Back. Actually Dr. Back. And he was amazing. He was just right, we'll get you. I said I'd really like to go back to the pain management clinic, see if there's been any advancements. Kind of now I'm a bit older and I understand a bit more, I'll be able to ask the questions, that sort of thing. He said there's a fibromyalgia specialist who is also the spine specialist in the pain management clinic.
Nice.
So, and then they sent me for an X-ray blood test straight away.
Wow. So no hanging around.
No. And
cool.
I'll probably have an MRI scan soon as well. So, but it's just nice for them to kind of just go, well, actually, yeah, let's just do this now.
That's actually, you're not wasting our time.
Yeah, but because I've kind of I know what I'm on about, and I don't take tablets just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
I explained to him how I take my tablets, that sort of thing. So he was just like, I'll just write your prescriptions out. Try this one, you might find it better.
Which
so,
one's that one?
Well, I usually have amitriptyline for sleeping, but it makes me super groggy for about 4 hours when I wake up, which is not the best. And it turns me white girl wasted.
Okay.
If I try and have one, like, before, like, dead on bedtime, I just start slurring, I have to be put to bed. I'm all over the place. Especially if I've had a drink. Like, one drink, I'm just on the floor, like, throwing up in gutters, everything.
Oh dear.
So I was like, yeah, I don't like taking them much. So he's given me nortriptyline to try.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got that and the amitriptyline. So he said, when you're having, like, a better day, try that. He said it might not get you to sleep as well, though, as the other one. But it doesn't make it as drowsy when you wake up.
Oh, that's good.
I have a very sexy, croaky voice because of the tramadol.
Oh, it sounds good. I mean, I'm listening to it directly, and it does sound awesome.
Yeah.
So, but I think my computer's decided to run a system now, so I can hear a slight buzz in the background, which is annoying me. But I can edit that out later.
That'll be alright.
Agr. So, we had a few questions, and the ones that I want to talk about, mainly we had a little bit of debate on the Facebook group. We have a Facebook group. We should really introduce ourselves as well. We've done it again. I'm Iszi Lawrence. I am a lady. What exercises?
Well, likes to do fit and that.
Fit and that and jitsu and stuff. And opposite me is Kelly Bakewell, PT, who is a PT and pale with bright red hair and lots of tattoos. And
it's pretty descriptive.
Is high as a kite. So
semi-high.
Semi-high. Not in agony.
I'm not in pain, so I feel pretty high. Just from not being in pain, that's quite nice.
Yeah, no, it must be. I mean, I'm not in pain really. I've got a sore quad. That's it. Sore quad, sore neck, but it's not pain. It's just meh.
It's just what happens.
Exactly. So, we had a bit of debate on the Facebook group. We have a Facebook group. It is the Women's Fitness Podcast. We've got a website, women'sfitnesspodcast.com, and we've got the hashtag OneFitPod, and we're on Twitter. You're
we're
not
all
on
over
Twitter.
place.
I know.
No, I got kicked off Twitter. Apparently I did something wrong.
Oh
but
dear.
I've forgotten I don't have my old phone to be able to then get back onto Twitter. So I think I should just start again.
Fair enough.
That was a long-winded way around that. I'm not on Twitter.
You're on Twitter. You are on Instagram.
Yes.
At Kelly Bakewell PT.
I'm all over Instagram.
Yeah, and I am also both on Twitter and Instagram as Iszi Lawrence, ISZI_LAWRNCE. Anyway, that's not about protein. Because there was a bit of a debate going on about protein on the Women's Fitness Podcast Facebook group, which is this being broadcast live. Hello. So what is it about protein? Because there's lots of different types of protein. There's whey protein, there's vegan proteins, there's my casein, I don't know how to say anything, protein. What would you train women, what do you recommend us to take?
Well, I wouldn't recommend protein shakes taking up the majority of your diet. Like I said before, 1 gram of protein for a pound of body weight pretty much is decent if you're working out. Sometimes it can be quite hard to stomach that amount of protein in a day, especially if you're going over from a carb-heavy diet.
And especially if you're a vegetarian.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of eggs.
It can be quite difficult to get your protein in, but there's a lot of people who kind of sell those sort of shakes, saying that this is all you need, everything in one handy container, just have a few of them a day. I definitely wouldn't recommend that as the way to go. Plus for your body, like your digestive system, like your teeth, health, all that sort of thing is all about chewing. We have everything there for a reason. So just drinking your food is, for me, I don't think it's the best kind of way to go.
You can get protein bars though, and if you get those, those really, I was gonna say they're the horrible ones. They're the really chewy ones that you need to microwave in order to make palatable.
The Quest ones.
Yeah, Quest ones, and there's I think My Protein do is My Bar Zero type thing, which is a similar thing to a Quest one, which is basically minimum carbs, all protein in a sticky glump.
No, I like Grenade Jaffa Quake because it tastes orange Smarties.
Ooh,
it's the best.
Ooh,
so good.
I've tried the My Protein, my casein protein bar, which is fudgy and really nice.
Okay.
Because they were doing a deal on those a few months ago and they were quite good. But what do you know anything about my casein and why it's different to normal protein?
Casein.
I think so. That's probably it.
Basically because it's digested a lot slower, so it can take like 5 to 7 hours for it to digest.
Oh, okay.
So to be broken down. So if you're trying to kind of have a shot of protein straight after you've worked out, it's probably not the best. Most bodybuilders would tend to take it at night so they don't lose their gains while they're sleeping. Just
my goodness.
Like quarts, probably not going to happen. Like I said before, meal timing, unless you're a marathon runner or you are full at body composition for a prep for a competition and you're right at the end of it, your meal timings aren't going to matter that much.
No.
Like not for the likes of us and everyone else out there, pretty much. So casein before bed, some people like to have a nice full feeling. It'll keep your protein levels up, building, that sort of thing. But it's not going to make a dramatic difference, to be honest. And you can get it from cottage cheese before you go to bed. Some people quite like to do that.
Trouble is, I have cottage cheese with breakfast sometimes, because sometimes I have omelettes, which are also full of protein.
True. I mean, the different type of proteins you've got whey concentrate, which is the one that you'll probably all know. So that's like Optimum Nutrition, that sort of thing. The ones that taste amazing, but they taste amazing because they're full of sweeteners and chemicals.
Yes.
They only have to have like 35% of protein in them to be classed as a protein, between 35 and 80%. So they don't even have to have that much protein in to be called a protein. So they're cheap, pretty much. That's the reason people buy them. They're cheap, cheerful, they taste good. They're a quick way of getting kind of your protein in. There's different companies, some are super cheap and a bit naff, and some are a bit more expensive, so they'll be a little bit better. But that sort of protein is kind of the lower standard of protein. But it's a lot more affordable, so like a massive tub would be probably about like 25-30 quid.
Yeah.
So for most of us,
Big
that's
bags.
probably, it's a lot more affordable and
you
really
can use
tasty.
it to bake with and things like that as well, which is fun.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a byproduct of making cheese. So it's kind of the stuff that gets like
curds
thrown
and whey.
off. Yeah, thrown off on the side. But a lot of people, especially if you're lactose intolerant, you can find it makes you quite gassy and bloated and have a bad time.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But the next one up is whey isolate. So that has to be above 90% protein. So it's a better quality. It tends to be lower in carbs as well, so a lot of diet whey will probably be
Whey isolate.
whey isolate, yeah. And I'm forgetting what I'm talking about. Whey isolate.
Well, other whey protein. So.
Oh yeah, no, the whey isolate, it's good, but for example, I've got one that only comes out on special occasions because it was like 50 quid for a 1 kilogram tub of it. I mean, it's pretty good, but they don't tend to be. Like, it's not chocolate fudge brownie flavour.
if you were rolling in it, then that's the way to get.
Yeah, it's the quickest absorbed from the two of those two.
Yeah.
It's got the higher level of protein in it, but they don't do as exciting flavours. So there's generally not like ice cream flavour.
Because it's not a big enough market.
There's just not enough. Well, they try not to put all the chemicals and sweeteners in.
Yeah.
So it is a lot more expensive. If you're thinking about how many shakes you might have a day, if you're having like 2 shakes a day, then it can be quite expensive.
Because you can, and you can make your own. You don't have to have them the way they prescribe of 1 scoop this.
Oh, no.
Make it with water and cry.
Yeah.
You can do your own thing and mix it up and mix your protein with other stuff like fruit and.
Yeah, you can whack it in porridge.
Yeah, I did
protein
that.
Pancakes.
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 Well, some of the companies do like actual mixes for pancakes.
Yeah, my
and stuff.
protein one's really nice. The golden syrup one.
Yeah,
it's so tasty.
I do that. Not very filling though. Weirdly, I find not like actual buttermilk pancakes make me go, oh.
I stick a load of Greek yogurt on mine though.
Yeah, I stick a load of bacon.
Oh, I do like bacon.
Yes, good.
Then you've got hydrolyzed protein.
Hydrolyzed.
So it's treated so the particles are much smaller. So it's even better digested than the other two proteins.
Instant.
It's pretty instant.
Basically instant muscle.
But it is obviously very, very expensive
Which is
in
why
comparison.
I haven't heard of it.
And it's harder to be allergic to, put it that way. So it's very nutrient dense, and they tend not to be flavoured or anything exciting like that.
But you can presumably add it to stuff.
Yeah, and then obviously you do have kind of you've got your vegan, vegetarian proteins, so like pea, hemp, soy, all that sort of business. What you do have to be careful of is that they might not be a complete protein.
Okay, because this is where it gets really confusing for people like me who go, "What do you mean it might not be complete? It's a protein, surely."
I know, that's one of the downsides. Like, I've spoken to a few vegetarians, and the problem is they don't know what that means if they're going to take something out of their diet. If you take any food group out of a diet, you've got to think, what am I missing from that food group? So meat has all of the amino acids. So the essential ones are ones that we get from food that our bodies don't make, but we need them. So your body makes most of them, like 28, I think, off the top of my head. I think there's like 8 or 9 that are the essential ones you have to get from food. So if you have some meat, that has all of them in about the right levels. If you're vegetarian, you have to try and look to find something that might have all of them in. It is definitely possible, obviously, on a vegetarian diet to get them, but you would probably have to have a few different sources to get the right amounts as well. Because even if it says it's complete, like pea protein would be a complete, but it might not have the level that you need.
Yeah.
So that's kind of your building blocks of muscle, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I often find, because like I think it's with vegan diets it gets really complicated of trying, because there's this certain protein that you can only get in the form of algae, and it's really
to lick it off the bottom of a rock.
Yeah, that's this. You see, just have an egg. Just find chickens. My friend David's got chickens. I can get loads of eggs.
Yeah.
It's like, have an egg, surely, or have shellfish maybe.
I completely respect people's decisions, obviously, but just be mindful of it and be aware that you might be missing not only like amino acids but your nutrients. And you might think, well, I've gone this far and I'm fine, but it's generally as you get older, and especially if you're training to a certain level, like, you will need nutrients a little bit more.
Well, you see, I didn't notice my anemia until I started exercise.
Yeah.
So my anemia came on. I was exercising and I was doing jiu-jitsu and I couldn't work out why I was getting less fit. The more I exercised, the more out of breath I was getting. It got to the point where I was out of breath climbing the stairs and having to sit down at the top of the stairs and be like, like that. And so I went to the doctors and they said, I think you're fine. And I said, I think I might have anemia. And they looked at my mouth and the inside of my eyelids and went, we'll give you a blood test. And then they rang me up and asked if I wanted to go to hospital.
Oh, that's nice.
So yeah, exactly. So it was a bit of a wake up call, and and it's so easy. And I was getting quite a lot in my diet, just not like I would have broccoli, but I wouldn't have it with tomatoes or anything else that would allow the vitamin C to
be absorbed. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the thing as well. Like, a lot of people go, oh, you don't need supplements. Like, most people are not going to need a BCA.
No.
Like, that's the branched chain amino acids. But if you're exercising, like I said before, about going from nothing to like 5 or 6 days a week and then reducing your calories, if you're suddenly putting a lot more pressure on your body, then you're going to need more nutrients. So things like glucosamine, things like B12. I tend to take like a magnesium as well to help with like muscle recovery.
I take obviously iron, I take vitamin D and calcium, and I take an multivitamin.
Yeah, I take a creatine.
Oh yeah, and I take that.
Yeah, muscle fullness.
Yay! Water weight.
Yeah, it's one of the only supplements that's like consistently proven to perform.
Okay, so what is creatine? It
basically pumps your muscles up. Like, it increases flow to the muscles. Blood flow, that sort of thing. So you end up with a nice full look. Some people freak out because you might put on like a pound or something like that, because it does increase water, but it does give you like quite a nice full look, to be honest. Yeah,
and also it's very easily, I just mix it into anything.
It's like just a little white powder. I've got so many little white powders. Look, well,
I know.
Like this bag of white powder, this bag powder.
It's fine.
Yeah, everything's fine.
It's good. But yeah, I think creatine is the one that I found most, it's the one I've really stuck with and find. Yeah. I also think psychologically it helps a little bit with weight training and stuff. I think, if you, it's stupid, but if you say, I will take magic, it's like when you have a pre-workout drink or something, even though that's full of caffeine and that definitely helps. It's also, Yeah. It also, I think, makes me think, I'm doing really, I'm super strong because of the drink. And then I do it without the drink and I go, it was exactly the same. It's just about my effort.
Yeah, I think like a lot of working out is mental anyway. So you have to be in the right mind space.
Yeah.
Like headspace to be able to do it. If you're not feeling
particularly
good that day.
your workouts, which are all about isolating a particular muscle and you have to think about it, is exhausting in your head.
Yeah.
It's not like, getting on the rowing machine and just banging that out for ages.
It's pretty involved.
Yeah.
Thinking about form and breathing.
And
breathing.
then balancing and but no, it's really fun. It's good.
But isolation work brings us on to the next question.
Yeah, it does. Okay, I will read this out.
Because that was quite an involved question.
Yeah, this is a full email that we got through the website. Visit the website, send us emails.
My toes have gone numb.
Excellent.
Update.
Do you want to wiggle them? We can have a bit of a wiggle because I can edit at this point. You see, I'm going to put in a little jingle or something. Have you got a question for us? Get in touch on Facebook. Find us on Instagram using the hashtag WOMFITPod. That is WOMFITPOD. And on Twitter at WOMFITPod. Or go to the website womensfitnesspodcast.com. Here is the question. And it is from Jess, who is not... We didn't get a kiss, but we did get a smiley face.
Oh, I'll accept that.
Which is pretty awesome. So... kind of following on from the single leg deadlifts question on Facebook earlier, that is the one where I responded
in a cafe,
holding a tiny little bag.
I think we should maybe do like a little thing on the Facebook group and see exercises in obscure locations using obscure things. That'd be quite funny.
That'd be great.
So record an obscure exercise using something not weight based in a strange location.
I think that would be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, so kind of following on from the single leg deadlifts question on Facebook earlier, can I ask a question about correcting strength imbalances? Brackets. I mean between left and right side of body, not between muscle pairs. I like the factual, that nerdy. That wouldn't have occurred to me as a question.
Protagonist and antagonist.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So, my left side is weaker than my right for pretty much every muscle that I'm aware of, and it seems to me that when I do barbell work, my stronger side compensates and takes a bit more of the load, which makes the strength imbalance even greater. I try to do... Edit, Izzy, good. I try to do a good amount of single-sided work with dumbbells, kettlebells, body weight, etc. to help my poor little left side catch up. If I'm working the left side and the right side separately, I make sure to always train my weaker side first. And I'm training both sides at the same time. I'll stop the set for both sides if the weaker muscle fails, brackets, loses proper form. Is there anything else I can do, brackets, should do, to get my weaker side to pull its weight better? Preferably without having to step away from barbells. Jess, smiley face.
Well, she is doing everything amazing. That's pretty much what I would recommend for people. I would maybe try and do some of the compound movements you're doing with barbells with dumbbells.
Mm-hmm.
Shoulder press, bench press, try and get some dumbbells in there, because dumbbells are going to force your body to stabilise. So that weak side's going to have to work harder to try and stabilise the movement with a dumbbell. The other thing that kind of concerns me a little bit from hearing about that is that she says all of her muscles are weaker. Because usually you'll have maybe a few muscles are weaker. Like my glute on my left side is stronger, my quad on my right side is stronger.
That's weird.
So
you're just a jumble.
Well, it's true with a lot of people. So if I get them on single leg extensions and then onto the leg curl, they'll notice that their antagonist-protagonist muscles are different and they might have fatigued a little bit. But they'll sometimes feel stronger on one opposing muscle to the other. The fact that she feels her whole side is weaker is slight alarm bells for me, to be honest, because you might not necessarily find that kind of your whole arm and your whole leg is weaker than the other side. So I would definitely look towards maybe seeing a physiotherapist, something like that, just to make sure there's no injury, like a dormant one or something that she's not even thought about that might be...
She's limping without realising.
Well, maybe that she's not linked to it. Like, not linked to that being the case. Because what will happen is, if you're not fully, to full capacity on one side, then you're going to be overworking different muscles and they're going to compensate. So that weak side will not be getting stronger no matter what you're throwing at it, because you've always got these other muscles that are kind of going, oh, we'll protect you, it's all right. So they're kicking in. So if there's a weakness, she needs to maybe check with a physiotherapist just to see if there is anything that's kind of hurting, or anything that might be stopping those from getting stronger.
I think there also might be, silly little things like if you're always carrying your handbag on one shoulder and not the other shoulder, that's going to put your posture out of whack. And every single day doing that, it might affect you.
Yeah, what it'll do is it'll, if you have an injury somewhere, it'll actually inhibit the muscles.
Okay, so stop them working.
So her left side might be inhibited, so it's not really going to grow. Because if she's doing what I would suggest to do, other than maybe adding in a couple more sets on the weaker side. So do what she's doing to failure is perfect failure on the weaker side, but then at the end add in maybe one or two more sets just to give it an extra oomph. Obviously don't go up in weight on the stronger side, just keep the weights the same until that side's caught up. But I would actually, it kind of indicates to me that there might be a bit of injury.
Well, it could also be if she isn't getting stronger on that side, is she, it could be basic things like, is she eating enough? Is she doing the other things?
Well, if she feels like she's getting stronger on her strong side,
true.
then she would be, But obviously eating and the protein, that sort of thing, is going to be a big factor, because you're not going to get stronger and gain muscle if you're in that deficit.
Izzy has a top tip, which is what Izzy's been doing, which is when putting kettlebells away and things like that, picking them up with your left.
Yeah, that's what I always do when I'm putting everyone else's weights away at work.
I know.
I always pick it up with the weak side. But that's the same as doing an extra set.
And just also when you're at home and you're cooking and you're moving your frying pan about.
That apparently helps with starving off Alzheimer's. If you brush your teeth with the other hand and do some other things with the other hand, it keeps different parts of your brain working, so it can help combat Alzheimer's.
Well, I also think doing things like Zumba and Jitsu help with that sort of stuff. Or doing new exercises, swapping it up.
Definitely have to keep active.
Keep your brain going, what the hell am I doing? It's amazing how doing Jitsu on the left and Jitsu on the right, it's just two different throws.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Absolute nightmare. I spent Monday night just going, this is an easy throw. I can do this on my right side and I cannot do this at all on my left. It's just...
It's really good to train both sides in that way, though.
Yeah,
definitely.
Particularly as people tend to jab first with their left.
Yeah, it's the same with kind of boxers if you can switch. That's always handy.
Switch stance.
Yeah.
Confuse people. But so anything else that she could do? Because you were saying something and then the car came and then it went wrong.
Other than probably what the physiotherapist might be able to pick up would be if she's exceptionally tight in certain muscles that might need releasing, so that they can then get proper flow to the weak side. But she's doing the right things, so it's either not enough protein, not enough calories, or there's an injury somewhere. That would kind of be what I would look at first. Yeah.
So there you go. Top tips. Any other thoughts, dreams, aspirations this week? That's Vincent's making. That's Vincent. That's my cat Vincent.
Have you got some thoughts? Yeah.
It's biscuits. They're biscuits. Are you a lady who brings biscuits to my house?
Cool.
He's a sweetie.
Yeah, he's lovely.
Anyway.
No, I think next week we should maybe talk about chronic illnesses.
Yeah, I think we've both got those.
Yeah, because you've got ME,
fibromyalgia,
chronic fatigue syndrome.
Yeah.
How training can help and how you should approach it and the pitfalls that you're going to get from it.
That'd be really useful. So if you have any chronic illnesses or indeed other issues, do send us your questions. Questions, suggestions, and feedback always welcome. We should now do a very cool. I tell you what,
Oh, no.
we got a high five on the
what's
internet.
coming up now.
But I suggest we turkey.
What?
So just high five me and I'll turkey you.
What do you mean turkey me?
It's fine. It won't hurt.
All right.
It's fine. So just high five normally. Turkey.
Oh, okay, good.
See you next week.
Bye.
Thanks for listening, but before you go, please spread the word about the podcast. Write us a review on iTunes, and we want your feedback. Go to womensfitnesspodcast.com or email womensfitnesspodcast@gmail.com. You can support us financially on Patreon, and also you can follow us. You can find Kelly Bakewell PT on Facebook and Instagram as @KellyBakewellPT, and you can find Iszi, that's me, on Instagram and Twitter as @Iszi_Lawrence. That is ISZI_LAWRENCE. Music by Boothby Grapho, available on bandcamp.com. We'll see you next week. High five on the internet.